Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a really powerful duo of ideas, stuff that can genuinely change how you approach your ambitions.
Hmm.
We've been digging into a YouTube video. It was from the English Dialogue podcast. Speakers Mike and Emma explored never give up on your dreams and also work smart, not hard.
Two classic pieces of advice.
Exactly. And what we want to do is sort of unpack how these two concepts, which seem pretty straightforward, actually fuel each other, how they combine.
Yeah, to help you achieve goals with, let's say, greater impact and hopefully less wasted effort.
Consider this our concentrated shot of insight, making your efforts really count.
Exactly. Mike and Emma, they provided a great starting point, didn't they? And it's fascinating to consider how these principles, well, while we hear them often, how they can be deeply integrated, into your daily approach.
Yeah.
We're aiming to move beyond just the surface level, right? And explore that practical synergy, the thing that can really drive results for you, the listener.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Never give up on your dreams. When we talk about this, what's the real core essence? What should we be focusing on?
Well, at its heart, it's really about that persistent dedication, to what truly matters to you, even when you're faced with obstacles that might seem insurmountable.
Right.
It's about cultivating resilience, definitely learning from setbacks, and maintaining that fundamental belief in your ability to eventually reach your goal. That's the point Mike and Emma really hammered home.
And they brought up some really compelling examples, didn't they? Like J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. I mean, it's hard to imagine the world without those books now.
Absolutely.
So what can we learn beyond just the fact that she faced rejection?
What was particularly insightful about Rowling's story isn't just the sheer number of rejections. It's that unwavering belief she had in her story
Mm-hmm.
and her willingness to keep refining it, keep submitting it. It really speaks to a deep inner conviction, one that even widespread initial disapproval just couldn't extinguish.
That's powerful.
How often do we let sort of initial setbacks dim our own inner fire?
That's a really good question. And then there's Thomas Edison, the light bulb.
Yeah.
His famous quote about finding 10,000 ways that won't work. It's so iconic.
It is.
What's the deeper lesson there from his persistence?
Edison's journey, I think it highlights a crucial mindset shift. Each failed attempt wasn't seen as like a dead end,
Right.
but as valuable data, something informing the next experiment. It was a systematic process, really. Elimination fueled by this ultimate vision.
Okay.
So for you, the listener, maybe the question is, how can you reframe your own failures? See them as essential steps in your process.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. Progress isn't always, a straight line. Mike and Emma also made it clear this principle, perseverance, it isn't just reserved for these massive, world-changing dreams.
No, definitely not.
It applies just as much to our sort of more personal goals.
Absolutely. Whether you're aiming to learn a new skill, maybe improve your fitness, or tackle a challenging project at work, that underlying tenacity, that refusal to be easily discouraged, it's equally vital.
Emma shared a really moving personal story. Her friend Sarah, who overcame pretty significant injuries, financial difficulties too, to become a professional dancer.
I remember that.
That kind of unwavering commitment, it really resonates. What stands out to you about Sarah's experience?
What's striking in Sarah's story is that sustained, focused effort, right in the face of considerable adversity. It wasn't just about wanting it.
Yeah.
It was about making consistent choices day after day that aligned with her goal, even when those choices were, really difficult. It underscores that dreams often require more of a marathon of effort, not just that initial sprint of enthusiasm.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so we have this powerful idea, never give up. Now let's look at how work smart, not hard complements it. What does it actually mean to work smart?
Essentially, it's about maximizing the effectiveness of your efforts, being strategic in how you use your time, your energy, your resources, all to achieve the greatest possible impact. Think of it as applying intelligence and intention to your work.
And Mike and Emma made a really important point about how this directly supports perseverance. It's not just about grinding away, is it?
No, Leonard.
It's about directing that energy intelligently.
Precisely. Working smart is a deliberate counterpoint to simply putting in more hours. It's about identifying the most impactful activities and focusing on those rather than getting bogged down in, less important tasks. It's quality of effort over sheer quantity.
They give some really practical examples, things like prioritizing tasks, delegating where possible, using tools and technology to streamline workflows. How can these seemingly simple strategies make such a big difference?
Well, what's fascinating is the compounding effect.
Hmm.
By consistently focusing on high-priority tasks, you make meaningful progress on your goals. Delegating frees up your time and energy for what only you can do. And leveraging tools can automate repetitive tasks, improve overall efficiency. It's about creating sort of a virtuous cycle of productivity.
And of course, Elon Musk often comes up in these discussions. Innovation, impact. His ability to lead multiple successful ventures simultaneously, it really highlights the power of working smart, doesn't it?
It really does.
What's a key element of his approach we can learn from?
Well, if we look at Musk's approach, it's not just about the long hours, though I'm sure there are plenty of those. It's about fundamentally challenging assumptions, driving innovation, and building incredibly efficient systems and teams.
Hmm.
It's about constantly seeking better, faster ways to achieve really ambitious goals.
Mike and Emma also emphasize that working smart, it's an ongoing process, right? Learning and adapting. It's not a one-time fix.
Exactly. The world around us, it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
So our strategies for achieving our goals need to evolve too. Staying curious, seeking new knowledge, being willing to adjust your approach, these are crucial for long-term effectiveness.
Emma shared a great personal example. Using project management software to boost team productivity, reduce stress. It's a really tangible illustration, isn't it? Achieving more with less effort through strategic tool use.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the key takeaway from that kind of experience for our listeners?
That example perfectly demonstrates how identifying a bottleneck or maybe just an inefficiency and then proactively seeking a smart solution can lead to significant improvements in both output and well-being.
Right.
So but for you, the listener, it might be worth reflecting. Are there areas where a more systematic or tool-driven approach could yield similar benefits for you?
Good point. So we've explored never give up and work smart as individual concepts. Now, how do they actually amplify each other? What's the real power in combining them?
Well, this synergy is vital because, as Mike and Emma highlighted, unwavering determination without a smart strategy,
Yeah.
that can easily lead to burnout.
Oh, yeah. Seen that happen.
And wasted effort, too. You might be working incredibly hard, but if you're not working on the right things, or maybe not in the most effective way, you might not see the progress you desire. And that, ironically, can lead to giving up, despite all that initial commitment.
Exactly. So it's about fueling that relentless drive with intelligent planning
Yeah.
for sustainable motivation and, real results. They're two sides of the same coin, really.
Think of it this way. Never give up provides the long-term vision, the grit to keep going,
Yeah.
while work smart provides the roadmap, the efficient engine to get you there effectively.
Good analogy.
One without the other is often insufficient.
That's a really clear way to put it. And they use the scenario of starting a business to illustrate this, the difference between someone just toiling endlessly, no clear plan, versus someone with a focused strategic approach. It's usually dramatic.
Yeah, what's insightful about that scenario is how a well-defined business plan, with clear objectives, identified challenges, strategic actions, acts as that crucial framework. It channels that entrepreneurial passion in a productive direction, prevents the energy from just being scattered everywhere, and ensures it's focused on activities that will actually drive growth.
And a core component of working smart, as Mike and Emma discussed, is effective time management. It's not just what you do, but also when and how you allocate your most valuable resource, time.
Precisely. Good time management, which includes prioritizing tasks based on importance, setting realistic deadlines, actively minimizing distractions, it's a cornerstone of working smart. It ensures you're dedicating your focused attention to the activities that have the biggest impact on your goals.
Emma mentioned the Eisenhower matrix, a helpful tool for prioritizing based on urgency and importance. For someone maybe not familiar, how does that work in practice?
The Eisenhower matrix, yeah, it's simple but really powerful. It helps you categorize tasks into 4 quadrants.
Okay.
You've got urgent and important, do these first. Then, not urgent but important, schedule these. Third, urgent but not important, delegate if you can. And finally, not urgent and not important, eliminate these.
Ah.
It just provides a visual way to make sure you're focusing on what truly moves the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And, as Mike pointed out, even simple practices like setting daily goals using calendars, they can be surprisingly effective in just staying organized.
Definitely. Another key element they touched on was the importance of continuous learning, being adaptable. The best strategies today might not be the best tomorrow, right?
Exactly right. In our rapidly evolving world, staying open to new ideas, being willing to learn new skills, adapting your methods based on new information or feedback, it's essential for maintaining and improving your efficiency. Rigidity can be the enemy of smart work.
Emma's example of actively updating her skills, attending workshops, networking really brings this to life. It's about a proactive commitment to getting better. How does that feed into this idea of working smart?
Well, her proactive approach to learning is a prime example of working smart because it's an investment, right? An investment in future efficiency and effectiveness. By staying current, acquiring new knowledge, you equip yourself with better tools and strategies to tackle future challenges more effectively.
Makes sense. Now let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about the role of mindset in all of this. It's often that unseen ingredient, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. A positive and growth-oriented mindset is really the foundation. It supports both perseverance and the ability to work smart. Believing in your capacity to learn and improve fuels your resilience, and it encourages you to seek out more effective solutions when you hit obstacles.
Mike and Emma emphasized how a growth mindset, that belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication, hard work, helps you see setbacks not as reasons to quit, but as opportunities for learning. How critical is that shift in perspective?
Oh, that shift is fundamental. When you view setbacks as learning experiences, you're not only more likely to persevere, obviously, but you're also more open to identifying what went wrong and then finding smarter, more effective approaches for the future. It transforms failure from a roadblock into like a stepping stone.
Yeah, I like that. They even gave a practical example, putting these ideas together, a conversation about the challenges of starting an online business. How did they illustrate that interplay between never give up and work smart in that scenario?
That scenario, yeah, it beautifully showed how the initial drive, the never give up part, needs to be immediately coupled with the practical steps of working smart.
Okay.
So, creating a solid business plan, identifying key areas of focus, using tools to manage the process efficiently. It's about channeling that initial enthusiasm into strategic action, not just blind effort.
And the emphasis on strategic planning,
Right.
using project management tools in that example, it really made these abstract concepts feel actionable, didn't it?
Exactly. It provided concrete examples of how someone facing that very common challenge could apply these principles in a tangible way to increase their chances of success and, frankly, avoid feeling overwhelmed.
They also touched on some common obstacles people face, things like fear of failure, lack of resources, and offered some work smart approaches to overcome them. What were some of those key solutions?
What was particularly helpful, I thought, was the reframing of these challenges. So, fear of failure. That can be tackled by breaking down those big goals into smaller, more manageable steps. That creates a sense of progress, reduces the perceived risk, lack of resources. That can be addressed by prioritizing high-impact activities, creatively leveraging what you do have,
Mm-hmm.
maybe through collaboration or focusing on low-cost, high-yield strategies.
The suggestion to seek out mentorship, build a supportive network as a way to work smarter. That's also incredibly valuable advice, isn't it? You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. Mentors can provide invaluable guidance, drawing on their own experiences to help you navigate challenges, avoid common mistakes, identify more efficient paths forward, and a strong support network. Well, that can provide crucial encouragement and accountability, too.
Yeah, definitely needed sometimes. And finally, they highlighted the often underestimated importance of self-care, sustaining both our drive and our ability to think strategically.
Self-care is absolutely essential for long-term success. As Mike and Emma rightly pointed out, taking care of your physical and mental well-being, getting enough sleep, healthy habits, exercise, taking regular breaks, it isn't a luxury.
No.
It's a fundamental requirement for maintaining energy, focus, motivation. Burnout is the enemy of both perseverance and smart work. Simple as that.
It's a reminder that you are your most important asset when you're pursuing your dreams. Neglecting your well-being just undermines everything else.
Precisely. When you're rested and healthy, you're simply better equipped.
Yeah.
Better equipped to persevere through challenges and also to think clearly and strategically about the best way forward.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, what are some final actionable tips for our listeners? How can they truly integrate this powerful combination, never give up, and work smart into their own lives?
Well, Mike and Emma offered some excellent concluding advice. First, set clear and achievable goals. Break them down. Create that roadmap. Then, prioritize your tasks based on their importance and impact. Remain adaptable, open to new approaches. Actively seek support and mentorship. And, crucially, prioritize your self-care. These are really the practical pillars of this powerful synergy.
And ultimately, as they so clearly articulated, it's about understanding that the most effective path to realizing your dreams, it's paved with both unwavering determination and intelligent, strategic effort.
Exactly. It's not just about grit or just about cleverness. It's the thoughtful and consistent application of both that leads to truly meaningful and sustainable achievement.
So as you move forward from this deep dive, maybe consider a dream, something that might be lingering in the back of your mind, perhaps something you set aside. What small strategic step could you take today to reignite that pursuit? Consciously applying the principles of both persistent dedication and working smarter. That's your challenge to explore this week.